Hey guys, welcome back to Anthro Branding. In today's video, we're going to be talking about 5 tips for the year 2020 and your church website. So we wanted to look at 5 things that are really going to help improve your website for the year 2020. Some of these aren't exactly new or groundbreaking thoughts, they're just kind of a reminder for you. But we're going to start with something that is on the new side of things, a little bit more cutting edge than the rest. And that's going to be that websites are transitioning from a state of being very simple, easy to use, and all looking very similar to one another, into a time of uniqueness, kind of out of the box thinking and creativity. It's still going to be important for websites to be easy to navigate, something that an individual can go to and very easily figure out how to get their way around to find all the information they're looking for. But churches, well, not so much churches right now, but bigger brands, companies, are utilizing a unique look to their websites, a unique navigation features, things that aren't quite as status quo as they were before. And I think for 2020, it'll be a great year for churches to start moving into this trend. Like I said, as a church, it's going to be a little bit more difficult to find an easy balance between kind of uniqueness and creativity while also finding an ease of use for its viewers. But I think it would be a great time to just kind of let your creative team go, to hire on a creative agency to kind of create your website for you and let them be as creative as they want to be. Let them think out of the box. I think the results are going to be pretty fun and definitely unique. And the uniqueness and the creativity of these websites can leave a really great taste in the mouth of the viewer, leave a great impression for them. And it's a chance to have some fun, to let your church culture kind of show through the website. If you're a really fun, young, energetic church, finding a way to kind of reveal that through just the structure and the function of your website would be a really cool way of incorporating this aspect of your church into something, into a medium like a church website. Moving on to number 2, this is sort of newer. Churches have been using it for a little bit. It's a RSVP form on your guest page, on your visitor page of your website. Whatever you send the viewer to first, as far as the information for your church, for church service times, your location, your pastor, statement of faith, all these things that people are going to be looking for when they're exploring churches for the first time. Whatever page you send them to for this, at the end of it, in the middle of it, some are incorporating an RSVP function so that visitors are able to let you know of them coming. This is going to be helpful on multiple fronts, but the most important, the most useful front will be like the welcoming committee, the welcoming ministry, the greeters, however you want to lay it out, or however your church does it. If someone's able to RSVP, able to give some names, like give their name, or give like a last name and an email address, as they come through the doors and they encounter a greeter, the greeter can be, "Hey, I don't recognize you. Are you the Adams family?" And if you're right, they're like, "Yeah, we are." Like, awesome. We see that you have 3 kids. Would you like one of us to take you down to the kids ministry area so you could get them registered, get them taken care of? You're able to personalize their greeting. If you give out any first-time guest gifts or anything of that sort, you're able to throw a name on it before they get there. Everything's a lot more personalized. It's going to go a long way as far as them feeling loved. They're going to know that they were expected. They know that they're cared for and that that their RSVP mattered to your church. And I think this is going to be a huge revolutionary change in a lot of welcoming ministries. If you're able to figure out a system that can incorporate an RSVP, someone who's online saying, "Yeah, I'm going to check you guys out on Sunday. Here's my name and information," and have that actually translate to Sunday morning, someone grabbing them, introducing themselves, asking who they are, and say, "Hey, are you the Adams family, or are you the Phillips family?" And have them say, "Yeah, that's us," and then kind of work them way through the different areas of the church and the different things that they're going to need to have, to get through. So if they have kids, a baby, you take them to nursery, kids ministry, youth ministry, Sunday schools, all these different things. It's going to be hugely helpful for a welcoming ministry, and I think it would make a huge difference in making your website more efficient and effective. Third one, kind of along the same vein of things, as far as the welcoming aspect of the website can go. We're going to look at point of view like videos or just videos in general that are going to walk someone through a Sunday morning experience. So when they come to a Sunday morning service, have a video of them pulling into the driveway, pulling into the parking lot, getting out of the parking lot, walking through the front door, greeting one of the greeters, walking to the kids ministry area, dropping kids off, coming back, grabbing coffee, going to a Sunday school, going to an equipping hour, going into a worship service. Kind of take them step by step in this video. You can strap a GoPro on someone's forehead so someone could walk through this, driving into the church, going through all the steps with a GoPro on their head. So as you're watching the video, it looks like it's coming straight. You're looking at it straight from a point of view, straight through the eyes of a visitor. So they're able to kind of get a lay of the land. They're able to understand what's going on around them and what to look for as they come in on a Sunday morning. However, these videos do not need to be perfect. Honestly, there's a lot of leniency as far as the quality goes. The main ideas that you want to get across is this was what it looks like on a Sunday morning at our church. So if you have the money for a nice GoPro or something of the sort to produce great video quality, then go for it. But if you don't have the funds, take your iPhone, just like this, throw it in a breast pocket and turn the camera on and just have someone walk around the church just so everyone gets an idea of what the church looks like, the direction you're going. Now give the person who's walking around direction and say, hey, I want you to go through the parking lot. I want you to walk through the main doors. I want to make sure that you greet someone. I want you to walk to the kids ministry area, have them bring in their kid, show them, dropping off their kid in the kids ministry area. Then go to the coffee bar, get some coffee, grab a donut, walk into a Sunday school area that would most likely incorporate visitors. And then from there, walk into the sanctuary, find your seat, and sit down for the beginning of the service. That sort of thing so that while you're taking the video, you have definite steps that you want to convey, you want to make sure that you record. But it's also genuine in the fact that it's someone that we do this every Sunday morning and that we want you to be a part of this. And these are the areas and how you're going to be, it's going to be the most effective and the easiest for you to become a part of a Sunday morning. This is going to ease anxiety as far as understanding where to go, what to do. It's going to help calm the nerves of a family who has kids. There's always a huge anxiety around dropping kids off or figuring out where you're supposed to take kids. So this is all sort of things that's going to help communicate your church structure, how you run things. It's going to really ease the minds of visitors as you're going to be much more equipped and much more prepared for your Sunday morning service than if they had not watched a video like this. So moving on in 4 and 5, these are two things that are pretty interconnected, but a little different. So we're going to split those up. And for number 4, it's something that really is not new, but it's something that we really need to hammer home in 2020, something that I think is extremely necessary for us to understand. And is that our church websites need to have a focus. Now, they need to be focused on visitors or they need to be focused on members. They can't be both. They need to be one or the other. And why I say this is because when you cater a website to members, you're going to be putting information and things on there that visitors, frankly, don't care about. They don't care. They don't want to have a church directory of everyone who's in the church and the contact information. And frankly, none of your members really want you putting that on the website for people who they don't know. You're going to be putting a lot more information about everyday functions of the church, things that a visitor isn't going to be too interested in until after they get assimilated in and become members themselves. On contrary, if you have a website designed for visitors, it's going to be a lot more, easy information that they're looking for. They're going to be looking for church phone number, contact information. They're going to be looking for the address, service times. They're going to be looking at the ministries that you have, who's on your staff, these sort of things. And as a member, quite frankly, everyone should already know these things. And so they're not going to want to go to a website like that. So websites that incorporate both run the risk of either including too much information or not enough information, and they do both poorly. So what we would always suggest, and what I'm always going to recommend to you as a church, is that you cater your website to visitors. Your website's going to be your front door of ministry. This is going to be the first interactions that most people will have with your church as they search for one. It's going to be through their website. So make sure your website caters to them. It's going to answer all the questions that they have for you. And it's going to really help them understand what and who your church is. Now, if you want to have a website for members, that's great, but make sure that it's a member's website. Some church or some website programs allow you to have a locked version or a locked side of things where you could enter a username and password to unlock a lot of different pages within the website, so that if you want to have a church directory, you could go that route. But the thing is, when you incorporate both, there's the volume of information on your website just grows exponentially. And the larger your website is, as far as volume goes, as far as pictures go and videos go, all these things, it slows your website down. And a slow website's not going to result well in your SEO rankings. So in like your search engine rankings. So if people are looking for your church on Google, if you have a slow website, you're going to be a lot further down than a church with a fast website. So these are all things that you have to kind of take into account. So like I said, we're going to always suggest you do a website that's geared towards visitors. And there's other avenues to accomplish what you're looking for a member's side of things, whether it is a separate website or if you utilize social media a little bit different, you can accomplish all these things. Now with number 5, this is more geared towards larger churches, but it deals with just a large amount of information. So there are some churches out there, especially once you get on the larger side of things, that you just have a lot of stuff going on, that you're able to function well with multiple ministries, multiple different areas that your church is involved in. So with that being said, one of the things that we want to look at doing is creating separate websites. Now for larger churches, this isn't going to be that difficult. Most of the time they already have a creative team who's capable of creating websites, and an extra $200-$300 a year isn't going to break the bank. So one of the churches that has done this the best, in my opinion, is Northridge Church out of Rochester, New York. I interned there, and while I was there, they were beginning this process of each ministry has their separate website, but through the main website, which is geared towards visitors, you're able to see the different ministries that they're a part of. So the youth, the kids ministry, the outreach ministry, the relief ministries, these sort of things. You're able to see what they have, but when you go and click on them, it's going to take you to a separate website where it's going to have all the information on those ministries. So that way, that website is on its own way, its own thing. It has all the information that you need for that ministry, but it's connected to the main website. That way, everything's connected. And that keeps the upload speeds, quick. It makes sure that people aren't engaging more information than they really can take in at one time. But when they're looking to find these things, they're able to find them easily. And then once they get to the website, you can include all sorts of different things for the different ministries. So if you have a lot of members and they want a separate website, or they want to find all this different information for just the members, you can do something like this. You can have a website geared towards visitors, have a tab for members, and when they click on it, it takes them to communitychurchmembers.com or whatever your new URL is. And through that website, they're able to put their information in, and they're going to be able to find a directory of all the people, different times for different community groups, or whatever they are going to want to know. You can have it in there separate from a visitor's website, but have them connected so that if a member forgets the website for the members. That's fine. Just go to our church website, click on members, and it'll take you there. So those were our 5 tips for a better website in 2020. If you have any other suggestions or questions as far as your church website goes, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Also, if you would like to subscribe up above and leave us a like, that would be hugely helpful for us. That's going to help us put out more content and help more churches glorify God through design. So thank you again for taking time to watch this video or read our blog. Feel free to leave a comment, like, subscribe. Check out our website at anthrobranding.com, and we'd love to be able to work with you to help your church glorify God more through design.